Hi everybody and welcome back to Redline, and today I get to drive this gorgeous Ferrari 360 Spider, and this is a particularly special car to me because, well, it's the first car that I ever fell in love with. When I was 14 years old, my dad decided to buy one of these, and as a 14-year-old it really was a dream come true. But he then decided to, well, complain a lot about it. He complained about how low it was, he complained about having to move off in first gear, and he also complained a lot about the amount of noise that it made. And then after 3 months he decided to sell it back to Ferrari and break my heart. And now 17 years on, I actually get to get out in this car and drive it and see if he was just being a miserable old git or whether his comments were justified. Launched in 1999, the Ferrari 360 was the successor to the legendary 355 and represented a significant departure from previous mid-engine V8 Ferraris. Gone were the pop-up headlamps and elegant but boxy proportions, and in their place was a more curvaceous design with modern headlights. The changes weren't only skin deep. Underneath, the chassis was constructed from aluminium, as was the new bodywork, and it generated around 4 times the downforce of the car it replaced. Things that remained relatively unchanged were the engine and gearbox. The naturally aspirated V8 grew in capacity from 3.5 to 3.6 litres and produced more power. And the F1 gearbox was recalibrated for smoother shifts, although as you can see with the car I'm driving today, it also came with a 6-speed manual. Despite not receiving the warmest reception from Ferrari fans on its release, it's fair to say that the 360 has aged beautifully, and as we're about to discover, it's still one heck of a machine. So just to be clear, this isn't the exact same car that my dad owned. No, he had one in a different spec. His was TDF blue with tan leather, no challenge grills at the back, and of course he also had this lovely open gated manual gearbox. We actually got this car from our friends over at the Car Crowd. Now, they're an investment platform, and what they do is they purchase cars that they think are going to go up in value in the next few years, and then what they do is they offer them out to investors on a fractional share ownership basis. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the Car Crowd, then check out the links. I've left them in the description. You'll get all the info there. Now, let's get on with some driving. Right, first impressions of this Ferrari 360 Spider are, it's actually got some really nice road manners. Okay, it's quite low to the ground, but what supercarism. But the ride quality is generally quite good. And this is a really easy car to place on the road. Doesn't feel as big as sort of modern supercars do, which makes it nice and easy to place. Feels light on its feet, lovely light steering. Yeah, it's a really nice car just to get around in. But of course, that's not the reason why you would purchase one of these, is it? No, you buy it for 2 things. First of all, the engine, and secondly, because from a dynamic point of view, this is a really, really exciting package. Even though it's like 20 years old now, there's some examples which are like 20 plus years old. This car came out in 1999 and it still feels fantastic to drive. Let's talk about this engine, this glorious, naturally aspirated 3.6 litre V8 engine. Here we have 400 horsepower, 275 foot-pounds of torque, 0 to 60 in around 4.6 seconds, and a top speed of 180 miles an hour. But the interesting thing about it is that peak power is at 8,500 RPM, so you really have to chase down the rev limiter in order to extract the performance. And the upshot of that is that you get to listen to it. That sounds just gorgeous. Flat plane crank V8. Oh, this horse prances, I'm telling you that now. This thing's rapid in a straight line. And car sounds don't get much better than that, do they? Gorgeous. Mwah. But what's this 360 like when the road gets a little bit tasty? Well, first of all, it's a little bit on the twitchy side. It does like to understeer a touch, and then if you get on the power too early, it tries to oversteer. So really what you got to do when you turn up to a corner like this one is get all your braking done in a straight line, and then balance the throttle nicely through the corner, and then just bleed on the power as you come out of it, and it seems to sort the car out, stops it from moving around so much. So it just takes a little bit of finessing, but that's part of the fun, right? It shouldn't be easy. You shouldn't just be able to rock up to a corner and go round it like a robot. No, driving a car like this should require effort and thinking and skill. And I really like that. And something else that I'm really loving is this 6-speed manual gearbox. Man, I can't tell you how good it is to have a V8 engine and a manual gearbox. It's so damn good. It's so mechanical. The shift is delicious, a nice slick shift. Throws a little bit long, but other than that, it goes through the gate with a nice sort of click. And first gear, I don't know what the old man was talking about. First gear is not a problem in this car. I can move off using first with no issues whatsoever, so I don't know what he was moaning about. It's just a really exciting package overall. Steering feels great. Feels a bit light around the straight ahead, but it does weight up as you apply some lock. It's just a really entertaining car that takes a little bit of understanding and getting to know, but once you're there, it's great fun. Okay, let's do another little blast, shall we? Oh. Oh God. Oh, so good. I'll tell you what, 14-year-old me fell in love, and I'm falling in love all over again. That is gorgeous. Oh, it's better than I remember, mainly because I get to drive one now, but God. Dad, you're watching this, I know you are. Why the hell did you get rid of this? You must be mad. Oh yes. Yeah, I love this. I don't really have anything more to say about this car. It feels really, really, really special. They don't make them like this anymore. In fact, I do have something to say. Two things. First of all, values on these are starting to go back up again, especially the ones with the manual gearbox. Secondly, oh God, Ferrari just need to build a car like this again. Like, I've driven loads of the modern Ferraris now. They're fantastic. I love them. But this has so much character that the newer ones, they just don't have. And I still think there's a gap in the market for a car with 400 or 500 horsepower, mid-engine, with a manual gearbox, something for the driving purists to really get their teeth into. So Ferrari, if you're watching this, and I suspect you're not, like, come on. This is what we want now, I think. This is really what we want, or it's what I want. I really want one of these. Yeah, shout out to the car crowd. When I saw that this thing came into their collection, I was like, please let me have a go, please let me have a go, please let me have a go. So big thanks to them for letting me get behind the wheel. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. Again, if you want to know a little bit more about those guys, make sure you go check them out. And from us in the meantime, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.